warm welcome to my YouTube channel Learn to Win. This is Dr. D. Kritika, Department of Commerce with Computer Application, Dr. SNS Graduation College of Arts and Science. This is my end video regarding your playlist of auditing. Already we have discussed enough about your auditing regarding your definition, objectives, purpose, and then professional code of ethics, importance of your audit planning, risk identification and assessment, risk assessment process, how to develop an audit planning, and internal control evaluation and assessment. So this is the last video in my playlist regarding the methods of internal control evaluation, which is most important and which will be more useful to you in case of your internal control evaluation in your auditing. So internal control auditing is most important and it has various methods in which we can go with your evaluation. So why we need the internal control evaluation is we can eradicate the errors at the beginning stage itself when we follow the internal control evaluation method in case of your auditing. So the auditing report speaks about the um, the efficiency of an organization, right? So the stakeholders, they believe the audit, if it is very transparent, automatically the efficiency and the trust of the particular customers or your stakeholders uh, can be gained with the help of your internal control evaluation. So we need to do with your internal control evaluation to have a proper records when we are going for the auditing process. So what are the various methods of your auditing, internal control evaluation in case of your auditing is, the first one is regarding your walkthroughs. So the walkthrough involves tracking the flow of transactions through the internal control system from initiation to completion. Okay, so walkthrough involves from initiation to completion. So this is a long process in which at the beginning to the end we need to be very careful. So the auditors, they observe and the document how the transactions are processed, approved, recorded and reported within the organization. So walkthroughs helps the auditors understand the design and implementation of the internal controls and identify the control weakness or deficiencies and assess whether the controls are operating effectively. So the walkthrough is an important tool in case of your internal control evaluation, which helps us in case of your processing, approval, recording and reporting. So that's why they say from the initiation till the completion, this will be a better method. And the next method in case of your internal control evaluation is regarding the testing of controls. Okay, the testing of control involves performing procedures to evaluate the operating effectiveness of internal controls in preventing or deducting material misstatements in financial statements. Why we are going for auditing? Only for the purpose of identifying whether the financial statement is a valid one. So the financial statement, to evaluate the financial statement, the operating effectiveness of the internal control in preventing or deducting the material misstatements in financial statement can be done by way of testing of the controls. So the auditors select a sample of transactions or controls and test whether the controls are operating as intended. The testing of the controls, it may incur. The first one is your inquiry. The auditors interview personnel responsible for performing the control activities to understand the control procedures and assess their effectiveness. Next one is regarding your observation. The auditors observe control activities being performed to assess compliance with control procedures and identify any deviations or deficiencies. Next step is regarding your inspection. Auditors review documents, records and other evidences to verify the implementation and effectiveness of the control activities. And then next one is your re-performance. So inquiry, observation, inspection and re-performance. What is re-performance? The auditors independently perform control procedures to confirm their effectiveness and reliability. So when we follow all these four in case of your methods of internal control observation, your audit report will be a proper. Then last one is your analytical procedures. So analytical procedures involves evaluating financial and non-financial informations to identify unusual trends, fluctuations that may indicate control deficiencies or risk of the material mismanagement. The auditors compare current financial data with the prior periods, industry benchmarks, budgeted amounts, or rather relevant criteria to assess the reasonable and consistency of the financial information and deduct the potential errors or your irregularities. So analytical procedure is also a very important tool in case of your internal control evaluation. So with these keywords, that is your unusual trends, fluctuations, and then which all indicates the deficiencies or risk of your material misstatement, it can be identified and evaluated, and the prioritization can be given to them, and we can avoid the risk also. So the auditors, what they will be actually doing is they will be comparing the current financial data with the prior periods. Okay, so they will be comparing the current data with the prior period. So say for example, this is the current year. We have to take the previous year's data and industry benchmarks, budgeted amounts, and other relevant criteria to assess the reasonableness and consistency of the financial information. So, what is the consistency of financial information? Is consistency in the sense, say for example, the trend may be increasing, it may be in an increasing manner, or it may be in a decreasing manner. It may have a different waves. So, what is the consistency of the financial information which is done in your previous prior periods can be compared, and it can be deducted with the potential errors or irregularities. So at the beginning stage itself, at the initial stage itself, we will be able to find out whether there is errors and or error frauds. Everything can be deducted easily, and it can be evaluated in a proper manner, so that whatever the record we are giving, the financial statements which are producing for the auditing, it will be a proper one. Then next one is your risk assessment. As we have done this previously, we have learned very properly what is risk assessment. It's nothing but your identifying, analyzing, and prioritizing the risk that may impact the achievement of your organizational objectives. So the auditors assess the risk related to the nature of your entity's operation and control risk associated with deficiency in your internal controls. So everything when it is done internally, when it moves to external places, automatically the external auditors, it will be a very easy and efficient way of auditing will be done. Next one is your self-assessment. As you all know, the effectiveness of the internal control relies on the responsibility of the particular personnel who is going to update. So the financial statement speaks about the auditing. The auditing is nothing but your financial statements. So self-assessment is most important. Self-assessment helps to promote the accountability, transparency, and continuous improvement in the control environment. The management and the employees assess the design and operating effectiveness of the control activities, identify the control deficiencies or the areas for the improvement, and then the action plan can be taken properly. And finally, the internal audit. So automatically the internal audit performs helps for your audit, risk-based audits, reviews, and assessments. So the internal audit report provides management and stakeholders with valuable insights into the strength and weakness of the internal controls and opportunities for the improvement. So that's all regarding your auditing. I think my YouTube channel will be helpful for you to understand the auditing. The playlist will help you for you to understand what are the variables which is included in your auditing, and it will be useful for your studies. Thank you so much for your opportunities and the responses which you are giving to my YouTube channel. Kindly keep in touch. Thank you so much.